Hello and welcome back to another video. This is my March bullet journal video, and again, this is the year of collages. So for March, I've decided to do a orange and blue color palette. That's one of my favorite color palettes. It's just gorgeous. It's simply gorgeous. So here I am, just outlining, marking some things for the calendar of where the boxes are going to be. And I got this super cute kit, which you can see a bunch of the pieces, just like last month when I had my February and I had my kit with a bunch of different the burgundy flowers, ladybugs, bees. Like, that company has another kit that I thought was really cute when I was browsing previously, and it was like blue. It was the exact color palette of stuff that I wanted, and I was looking through the stuff that I already had. Turns out I did not have anything that fit that color palette, so I was like, I'm gonna get this kit, and I got another kit that I'm gonna use for my April bullet journal, and then I think I'm gonna be good. I think I'll be set for the next several months, and I won't be purchasing anything else, because I've kind of restocked everything that I want, and I'll make use of everything that I already have. And then when I start to run out is when I will get stuff. That'll be my rule, because the way that I could just collect stationery, I could keep it. I could have a warehouse full of stationery because they're just so cute. But anyways, and I do have a plan to keep using my stationery. I have another video that I hope you'll enjoy that'll be coming out after this one. This one I'm just working on my cover. So they had this really cute over the rainbow like Spotify looking card, and I was like, this is adorable. And that background with the floor, like the flower shaped pattern with the blue polka dots, the very background piece. I saw that one. I said I have to use this. This is gonna be the statement background. I love a poppy background, like a bold pattern. Look at that. It's just, I know I'm not really saying anything, because unlike some of the other things, like my previous videos that were themed after a subject or a movie or something, with this, it's mostly just me fooling around and just sticking things down. I guess I could go over how I like to build my collages. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So I always like to start with a large piece in the background, which is what that cardstock, that orange and blue and cream colored cardstock is, to be the background piece, or my statement. I don't know what word to use, because it's not necessarily just in the background. Part of it is in the front. So I'll just say statement piece. I like to have a statement piece that's large, that will cover a lot of paper, or a lot of the back of the page. And I like to build up, getting smaller as I get closer. So that was the big piece. I decided I wanted one half to be in the back, one half to be in the front. And then I have the over the rainbow card sheet. That was another large piece. I was like, cool, that'll be the focus of my left side of the left page of this cover. And I wanted to leave it open. I didn't want to cover it up, so I wanted to leave it as much of it uncovered as possible. And then once I had that down, my next focus was doing the borders. So with the borders, I like to cover all the spaces on my borders. But that's where you'll see a lot of ripping. I've got this sunset sky. That was another page. Or I'll get other larger pieces, like these bookmark shaped pieces that I used to kind of build up the border of the paper. And then once I have that like down, I'll start to fill in any other empty spaces that there are on the page. And then that's usually when I get into my smaller stationaries, my stickers, those different things like that. And I'll kind of make I'll make smaller, the word just went right out of my head. I'll make basically like little small sections, like little collections. So there's like the sunflower with the these little like papers behind it. That was like one little section. That one page actually didn't have as many. The February page had way more, where there was a little bits of kind of like a gallery wall is how I like to think of it, where this little section is here and then you have this little section in another spot, but you can look at it as a whole even though each part is individual. So for the calendar page, most of the page is taken up by the calendar, so I really only have to worry about the border page. So this is where I can do a lot of I like to use a lot of my leftover pieces for this page, because sometimes, just like you saw when I was trimming the excess on my cover page, I'll have these like long strips that can get left over, like this piece here, which I cut off the other side, and they don't always fit in other places, so I'll do that there. And then as I build up the other just around it, I'll use mostly, well, it depends, it really depends, but I do use on this page my medium to small pieces, obviously because this is a smaller space to work with. And what also ends up happening is, as I'm building, as you can see on the right side, there's this whole section that's hanging over that's going to get cut off, and then I can use it again. I can reuse that same section on the other side or on the same page so that there's no waste. Even if I did cut it off and I didn't use it, I always save my scraps. Like if they're usable, sometimes the scraps, they're just like way too small or shredded up or whatever, and they're not usable. It is what it is. But I like to save them because they can be reused in some other fashion, just like I did with the two scraps there. So on the left side, those two main pieces that are building up that column were scraps from other pages. And then also, because I used that scrap that cut off piece from the left side and brought it over to the right, it kind of ties those two sides together, and it just makes the page look a little bit cohesive. The top part, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I had these really cute washi tapes, and I didn't want to cut any other pieces out, so that's what I did there. Now this is the finance page, my finance log. I've been loving my new log. It's way more better than the previous logs that I've had, and yeah, it's just great. Ooh, excuse me, I don't know what that was. It wasn't a burp, but some air was in my throat. But anyways, this orange textured paper, I saw that in the kit and I was like, I have to use this. I did not want to rip it. Usually I would be like, cool, but I already had another page that a large page on my cover page that I was using, and none of the other spaces in this layout were large enough for me to use large sections of this paper, and I didn't want to save it. I wanted to use it for this month, and I was like, why not make it a background? So I cut out my finance log stuff and I've made a background and used this as it. And let me tell you, when I had that idea, fan-freaking-tastic. This is me just sealing the edges of the page with some tape, because sometimes along the seams when you're folding it, especially, it can bend away or they don't stick down as well. So I like to go over the seam with just regular clear tape to help keep it pressed down. I also use some tape in some spaces where maybe the edges of the paper aren't laid down well enough with the glue, and I'll rip little strips off to put it down. But yeah, I really loved this style of page of doing the background and then having this block of paper with everything on top of it. And I do intend to have that be something that carries forward, because I think it just adds more color to the page, because previously it was just like a little section at the bottom, similar to what I'm doing here. On those whole 2 pages, it was just that little bit at the bottom, but now that whole page is the pop of color, and I really like that, so I'm going to keep doing that. This part was fun. I had all these square shapes, and because this section is so much smaller, I used a lot of my like medium and like smaller sized stickers and stationery, and because it is also very it's hard angles, it's hard lines, there's no like curves or anything. I mostly just used the shapes as they were to fill in the space, to get like my background and my base. And then once I had all that done, I just found some other stickers to fill up the white space and make it until it felt complete. And yeah, this page was super simple and it turned out really cute. There's kind of this motif of oranges in this layout, just because that was on a lot of the stationery in this kit. Was like oranges were a part of that, was their motif. That little stamp, it was leftover from some like wax stamps that I made a few months ago. It might be in a previous video where I made a whole bunch because I was testing out the colors when I first got my wax stamp, and then I kept them and I've been using them throughout my journals. And here we go again. Here's another page where I know I was still talking about the other page even though we went on to this one. That's just what's gonna happen. I'm just recording these in real time. Where I wanted to bring more color to the page, and then I was inspired by the previous page, so I cut out I cut the paper out so that could be where I write on my information in my, because that section is really simple. I thought about doing it for one of my log pages, but there's simply too much writing that happens, and sometimes the pages were too dark. That looks so cute, and there's some more oranges. Oh my gosh, sorry, I keep interrupting myself. It's just so cute. I really love this layout. It turned out really well, and I really liked how I was able to bring more color into the pages, and they turned out really, really well. Like, here's the final page for my cover. Again, orange, blue. I love the little thin washi tape. Here's the calendar page. And the finance track and the trackers page. Yeah, super cute. I want to get more color on this page. I'll figure it out. I love the collage at the bottom there, but I feel like there could be more. And then this is great. Now I have color on the review page, and this is another thing that I'm gonna keep doing as I go forward with having it be in a border. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice rest of your day, night, evening, or whenever. Bye.